Hey, gang, we'll go right to the phone lines and bring in our good friend Mike O'Hara, DetroitLions.com. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, Mo.
Glad to hear we're good friends.
Mike, what's going on?
So great. Look. Mike, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. You're interrupting some very high-quality leaf raking, but what the heck?
Oh,
Gotta
man.
you just have to make sacrifices.
Beautiful day. Actually, we're probably doing you a favor to get you to stop raking the leaves right now. But, hey, Mike, this is the season of giving, and the Lions have been giving that football away over the last month of the season at a pretty exceptional clip here. 10 turnovers in the last 4 games. As you see it, is that the biggest reason why this team has hit a rough patch?
I think that, yeah, probably more than anything else. I didn't expect them to beat Baltimore, 5 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago, whatever it was, and I certainly didn't expect them to lose to the Green Bay Packers. So I think it has evened out. And look, and we'll see. They've just had their mini break. To me, it was sort of like a mini bye. And you saw what happened when they came out of the bye. They won a couple of games and got things going again. We'll see if the same thing happens with, like I said, this mini bye to get it going again.
You know, playing 3 games in 11 days really takes a toll. Do you feel like this 10-day layoff really came at a nice time to just kind of recalibrate where they are as a football team and get back to fundamentals? Was this a really good 10-day break for them?
Yeah, you don't know exactly how they spend all their time, but I would agree that it is. And I think it's this time of year. I think any team, whether they're in the race or not, but predominantly when they're in the race, would like a break. It's sort of just to recalibrate, as you said, and get ready for the last. Get down the stretch, as we used to say in the horse racing business.
Mike, it seems like the people that love you and know you call you Mo. So you mind if I just stop calling you Mike and call you Mo? I think it sounds a lot better.
Can you repeat that slower?
I said, Mike, I'm going to start calling you Mo like Maz does. I feel like the people that know you call you Mo, so I'm going to call you Mo.
Well, that's okay with me, but ask Tommy. I think he copyrighted that.
I did, but I'll let him do it, Mo.
See, Maz, I appreciate you, man. You're so kind. Mo, let me ask you a couple questions real quick about these Lions. When you look at the Lions now, are you looking back on the season and are you saying, you know what, the injuries of Emmanuel Mosley's, the injuries of CJGJ, the injuries of insert offensive lineman that has had to interchange all year, and even David Montgomery, is it the injuries that have caused the Lions to kind of be in this space of 7-3 and now trying to kind of, 7-3 and trying to figure it out if they're that team still, or is it the schedule that they've played and you look at the teams that they've lost to, playoff teams versus the teams they won, not necessarily that good?
Well, I think it's a little bit. Those are all good points, and I think it's a little bit of all of that. Really, it's the injuries. I mean, to some degree, okay, but everybody gets injuries. But this really hit the Lions in a spot, and I'm talking about in the secondary that you just talked about. They put a lot of resources in there, a lot of effort to beefing up that part of the team, and what they got out of it was 1 game from Gardner Johnson and two snaps from the other guy. And so they certainly didn't get anywhere near the production or the availability that they were expected to get from 2 really pretty well-respected, NFL defensive backs. I think that and the injury to left guard Jonah Jackson, I think, has really made an impact on them in a negative way. Now, this is the National Football League, and you played in it, and you've got to find ways to overcome, and that's part of it. You're not just going to get 17 weeks plus, a week off. Total of 18 weeks. You're not just going to get clear sailing. There's going to be a bumpy ride somewhere in there, and you've got to be strong enough and mentally tough enough to navigate it. And if you look at their record, 8-3, I think for the most part the Lions have done that. I think they really have. Look at their 4-1 in road games, 4-2 at home. So I think that's really a pretty significant reversal of what you see. First of all, from most teams, and especially from the Detroit Lions up until like the midpoint of last season. So I'm not as whacked out of what happened in that last game against the Packers, as a lot of people might be, and that's okay. Everybody looks at it in a different way, in their own way. But to me, I think we're making an awful lot out of, and this, I'm not saying this with sarcasm. This is accuracy, a 1-game losing streak.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can't make too much of a one-game losing streak. I think a lot of people, though, they also look at the line. They look at the Chicago Bears game as what could have been, and then the Green Bay Packers. But we do live in the real world, so that was not a loss. It was an almost loss. Last question I have to ask you is obviously the turnovers. Turnovers are the big thing for Ryan Ermanni, and I agree. You can't continue to turn the ball over that clip, especially when you start facing teams like the Cowboys at the end of the season. Hell, even the Denver Broncos. Outside of the turnovers, what is something that the Lions definitely need to clean up or get better at going into this last 6 games of the season?
I'd say tighten the secondary. You just can't have guys standing wide open. You're catch and run. You can't have it. First of all, you're giving them up the catch, and then second of all, you're giving them up, yards after catch. And I don't know what I don't know what the antidote for that is at all, because, like I said just a minute ago, they had really had addressed a lot of their off-season planning on defensive backs, and they didn't get they got no production out of them. The other part of it is the pass rush. Where is it? They've had 22 or 23 sacks this year, and of those of that total, 18 have been in 3 games.
Right.
You've got to look. It's great to get a quarterback hit and all of that, but you've got to get them on the ground. You really do. It changes the game. First of all, it changes that play, then it changes the game, and it changes the way they operate. So that's to me is surprising how little they've done in terms of rushing the passer.
The Dean joins us, Mike O'Hara, DetroitLions.com. Mo, this is for you here. Now, the linebackers, we got Alex Anzalone down now with a hand and wrist injury. Not sure how long that's going to be. Jack Campbell, the young rookie. Malcolm Rodriguez, I'm hearing, is getting work. What's happening with the linebacking core?
Oh, just what you just said. They lost one, and now they're counting on two young guys to replace probably one of their top 3 defensive players in Alex Anzalone. Look, I thought he really came on, from the midpoint of last season through the end, and then carried it all the way through this season. And that's, to me, it's a loss. First of all, just his athleticism and the way he plays the game, and the other part about is his intelligence of playing the game too. Like, he's the guy who wears that green, which I just patted myself on the top of the head.
Green dot.
Must be something wrong with me. I just hit my green dot, and I didn't get any smarter. But that too, somebody else has got to pick up that slack, and they will. I mean, one way or another, but it won't be the same.
And how about Jared Goff? What's been the difference that you've seen in him in the past 3 weeks? Have you seen a difference? I mean, he was fumbling back in the day, then he wasn't fumbling. Now all of a sudden, he's a little bit, he's not as comfortable looking as he was in the past.
No, I don't think so. He really took some hits in this last game. The one with the 2 games ago with the 3 interceptions. 2 of them were tipped, and one was just an out and out bad throw. But like he said, that's the price of playing quarterback in the National Football League. You got to take accountability for everything that happens, and he does that. I don't think one thing about him, even like the game where he had the interceptions. On clutch time, he came in 4 minutes and 15 seconds, took that team approximately 140 or 150 yards in two possessions to win the game. Didn't look like a guy who was shaken by it. I didn't like it. Right. Obviously, you don't like things like that, but it didn't seem to me that it affected his performance. And last week, disaster. But that entire team, to me, played with absolutely no energy. And I just wanted to do this, but I just thought to myself, don't you guys know that you invented this game in 1935, and you acting like it belongs to somebody else?
I know. I brought my 2 youngest daughters to that game. Their first Thanksgiving Day game. They kept texting me, "Dad, what the hell, man? What's with this team?" I mean, I was embarrassed watching that game, and I thought from the get-go they were out-coached in this game, Mike. From the get-go.
Yeah, they made a very smart play. The Packers did when the coin flip. I mean, 99 times out of 100, or whatever it is, you defer and let the other team. No, they had something in mind, and they went right at it. They wanted a big strike coming right out of the gate, and they got a 53-yard completion. And Jerry Jacobs. Jerry Jacobs. I was thinking of another guy, Jerry Jacobs. Yeah, just couldn't get there.
No.
There were really 3 guys.
Should have been a touchdown, actually.
Play on the ball.
Yeah, it could have been a touchdown if he laid it out more.
Well, I'll settle for 53 yards.
Yeah.
But it just looked to me like the Packers were on their game, and the Detroit Lions, except for maybe the last possession, never were.
No.
Mike, I hate to ask the question because I feel like it's a hypothetical, and there are plenty of a lot of football left. But does it feel to you like Brad Holmes missed the boat a little bit this year at the trade deadline and just throughout the year? I mean, Shaq Leonard is out there. No, like not even a visit. You know, I mean, it just feels like any opportunity to improve this team as the year went on. They just haven't done that. Do you believe that has been a mistake at all? And again, a little unfair because there's a lot of football left and we don't know how the year is going to play out, but it just feels like a little bit of a missed opportunity to improve this roster this year. How do you see it?
Well, the one person that I would have liked would have been the pass rusher that ended up signing with the Chicago Bears.
Montez Sweat. He has completely changed that defense.
Yeah, he really
completely
did.
changed that defense.
I don't know if he completely changed anything. I don't see him as that type of player. But he's a good player, but not the best player. But I would have liked to have plugged him into that defense. I really would.
Yeah, and we'll see.
Just one last thing.
Yeah.
The reasons for that, was it money? And that $98 million is an awful lot to shell out for a guy that to play a half a season and then whatever there's rest on his contract. I guess another 4 years or whatever it is. So I don't know. Really, they haven't spoken on it yet. We haven't heard anything. Haven't any sources close to the scene or whatever. But I'd be interested to find out why not.
No doubt. Absolutely. Well, there's a lot of football left, and it starts this week, one game at a time. New Orleans Saints. Mike, thanks so much for the time, my friend. We appreciate it.
Mo, always a pleasure.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, you got it. We'll talk to you hopefully maybe next week after a win.
Hey, happy early birthday, Mo.
Oh, Mo, birthday. Happy
Next week.
birthday, buddy.
I'm trying to forget, guys.
No, it's
man.
How do you forget Pearl Harbor Day?
Those years.
You don't forget Pearl Harbor Day, Mo.
D-Day? Oh, wow.
Hi, Mike. Thanks, my friend. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Mike O'Hara there.